Welcome back, everybody. Top quiz. That was a doozy. Good job, Eddie. Good job, Anne-Marie. That was really fun to watch. Next up, the man. You guys all know him. This is going to be his last shoulder tap for about a couple weeks. He just informed me the man's going to Europe. Much deserved, hard-earned. Mick from the Riz team. What is happening, Mick? Talk to us. Are we seeing more red? We seeing more green on the board today? It's been kind of a tough trade.
I've seen it been a tough trade for a lot of people. We definitely have a lot more red on the board today. And I normally don't say a lot or a little. A lot of times it's a mixed bag. But today's been a really tough trade, especially for people that are involved in the equity indices. I got some good shout outs for people that are up decent P&Ls, like $2,000 or more in the live accounts. But overall, like you said, tough trading day. So way more red than green on the boards today. And we're seeing bigger red numbers too, Dre. So Fatima, she kind of crept in there. I was writing down people's P&Ls. She's been one of our live traders in the past. We've featured her. We've tried to get her on TV before. We talked to her on the phone. She is one of our live traders who we called up again recently that we really like working with because she's been making a ton of adjustments to her trading. She gets her back against the wall. She scales down. She puts in personal loss limits, and just one of our favorites to talk to. And she's always looking to make herself better and better and better. These are the people that we like working with most, the people that say, hey, I don't know everything. I've got areas to improve. What do you got for me? What can you help me with? Which is, part of the reason why we talk about some of the content that we talk about on Shoulder Tap here. Always looking to improve, always looking to get better. She's up $4,000 today. She caught a nice, quick, big winning trade recently. We've also got Brian up $3,700. I've talked a lot about Brian in the last couple of weeks because he's been knocking it out of the park. He had an $18,000 winning day last Tuesday. Brought his account balance up above $70,000, and he's still right around there, a little better actually. We've got Chow up $3,200, Philip up $2,200, and then Raul up $3,600 today. So those are some of the notable P&Ls. Let's talk about, so shout out to all of you traders out there and everybody else who's trading equities that's up money on the day today, because like Andre and I are saying, not an easy trade. And just that's what happens. Some of those days, like nobody's making money. But speaking of making money and taking money, I heard Dakota, $133,000.
Yeah.
133
large, man.
Payout.
What? I got a question. Were there any conversations between you and him at all regarding this payout? I know he was a bit reluctant. You don't have to divulge what you don't have to divulge, but maybe give us a little bit of peek behind the curtain, how those conversations went. I know Michael was kind of open about it on fast markets. Like, I have that money sitting in a prop account, but you can sit in your checking account or your savings account or your bond. Did you guys have any? Did you and Dakota have any discussions about perhaps taking this payout?
Numerous times. He's had a couple of us from the Risk team reach out to him, for a long while now before he got that account over $250,000. Most recently, we want people to pay themselves. I am such a firm believer in regularly paying yourself makes you a better trader, makes you a better money manager. It makes that dollar value, be it account balance or P&L that you see on the computer screen, tangible and real. I know that was a big issue I had when I first started trading. I treated that, my P&L, I treated my account balance as just a number on a computer screen. And it wasn't until I started taking regular payouts, which was a strong suggestion by a number of people that I looked up to in the industry. They're like, you got to pay yourself. You got to pay yourself. Even if you make $75, or you're taking a $75 payout, pay yourself. It's a good habit. I'm happy he's doing it. We've been talking to him about it along the way. Like, hey, you should take one. It's been very lax. But I know we, once this account balance started getting larger, Michael wanted to see him take a payout. And we had asked him numerous times. I had heard sometime in the middle of last week, I think, that Michael talked to him about taking a payout, and Dakota said no. Danielle had reached out to me, and she's like, hey, he's not taking one. And I said that's a shame. Because he should be paying himself. And Danielle said, yeah, like his main focus is, helping traders, build good habits and stuff and do the right thing. And I said, well, all right, I can talk to him and come up with some talking points. And I certainly don't have the sway that Nebraska has, Michael Patak has, but I was able to connect with Dakota the following day, and we brought it up again. And I'm like, it'd be really helpful for the people that are following you. You're doing so well. You've got so much attention. It'd be helpful for them to see you take a payout, like even if it's a small amount, just take a little bit. And what he told me, and this is why I was so surprised when I heard he took 130 grand out, because first he went from not wanting to take a payout to then saying to me, he's like, all right, I will take out 50% of anything over $250,000. So over the $250,000 account balance, he was going to take half of that. I said, okay, that sounds good, but what's the frequency? Because what does half of that mean? And he said, I'll do it like it's a regular job. Every 2 weeks, I'll take 50% of what I have over to $250,000. I'm like, beautiful. Thanks so much. And then I was excited to hear the news today. JD's, who's in the office with me, he's like, holy shit. I'm like, what? He's like, Dakota's taking 130 grand. And then I also heard the follow-up. He's taking the 130 grand and going to Vegas with it and saying that he's either coming back for 260 or nothing.
Please don't, Dakota. Please don't.
Please don't. I mean, there's people with high, 7-figure net worths that wouldn't risk 130 grand in Vegas. And
I think he was kidding.
I hope so. Yeah. Unless you're Daddy Warbucks, Anyways, regarding taking a large payout like that, this was something that I thought would be a great opportunity to talk about, Andre, is, okay, when you take a payout, and I'm seeing a lot of people now, we've got a ton of funded traders. We've got a lot of people that are taking out big payouts, one-time payouts, overtime. I'm not an accountant. Don't want to be an accountant, but I want to talk to people about some smart moves with when it comes to taking payouts. So you need to set up a separate account where when you do take a payout, you're shelling 30% of whatever you take out of that payout into that account. And you're not touching that. That is not your money. That is the government's money. That is the Internal Revenue Service's money, and they come calling for it. You need to set aside 30% of all payouts, and you get to keep what's left. So Dakota's taking $133,000 in payouts. He's going to have to set aside 40 grand to pay taxes on it. He owes 40,000 of that 133 grand in taxes.
That's the reality.
Which it's kind of an astonishing number, but I mean, this is where we just recently heard about, was it Antonio Brown? Is that the guy who
football player?
88 million? Yeah, football player. $88 million made in his career, filing for bankruptcy, and he owes like $3 million to some people, and there's like other outstanding debts. I think he owes a little less than $5 million, but like you make 88 grand, or no, 88 grand, 88 million,
88 million,
and you're filing for bankruptcy. Like the guy's still relatively young. So, I mean, Andre, you've been in the professional trading space for a while. There is somewhat of a correlation between the quick money and young people and how they spend it and not being responsible with the funds. Not every trader is like a sports figure, and not every sports figure, is making money like some traders out there. But you have to be aware of what to do with your money and be smart with your money. What's that guy's name? Who's the Skittles guy from the Seahawks? Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, Marshawn Lynch. Yeah.
Love him.
Didn't spend a dollar.
Didn't spend a dollar of his stuff. Like, that is the exact opposite end of the spectrum of Antonio Brown. So be smart about it. Dakota, you're going to have to set aside 40 grand. Everybody else who's taking payouts, set aside 30% of what you're taking on your payouts. Otherwise,
Skittles.
You don't want to be one of those people that spends it, and then you get a letter from the IRS saying you owe, and then you're in waters you don't want to be in. But I'm really happy for him. That's great. And I mean, he went from like 140 grand to 250 grand in really short order. I don't remember off the top of my head how many trading days he's got in that live account. It's like 60, 70 maybe. Dakota, if you're in the chat, tell me how many days you got in this live account before getting that up to $250,000.
He was in the chat. He was in the chat earlier, but yes. Congratulations to Dakota. I saw he's in the chat. He's got a plan. He's got a plan what to do with this payout, so that's really good. he strikes me as a person that's pretty smart with his money, as you see his account management. So I think we're in good hands here. Just major congratulations. We've got someone in the $100,000 payout club. When Michael
Yeah,
was putting together the clubs, like, will we ever get to that? Will we ever get to that? Sure enough, we got it. We got that Michael Jordan of traders right now, Mick. So it's really,
we
really
got it.
great to see. We got it. We
Yeah.
did it. We get it, and we're fully behind it. We're supporting it. We love to see the success, and we finally got to the culmination where he's taking a great payout. He's got 100 grand in his balance in his account right now to trade us, so he does have that cushion that we talk about, Mick.
I'm hoping he's paving the way for a lot more traders too, because there is that opportunity out there. And, Dakota's a pretty selective guy with his trading. He manages his money well. He has really big wins, and he takes calculated larger losses. We've expanded his position sizing from 15 contracts up to 30 contracts. He's had that for a while, and he doesn't always trade as big as he can. And we took that $3,000 daily loss limit to a $9,000 daily loss limit. And he's asking, he's like, is it okay with you? Like, you've shown me that you're a big boy and you can manage your money. And we just recently took it from 9 grand to 12 grand for a daily loss limit. Now, having him with an account balance that he took, half of that money or just a little bit more than half of that money out, because he's got more than 30 winning days, you can take more than 50% per the payout policy after 30 profitable days. I think he's going to have like 120 grand in the account after this big payout. So, a $12,000 daily loss limit, that's 10% of the account balance. So that's something to consider now. And he'll probably reach out if, he has a couple, bigger losing days. I'm confident he'd say, maybe we need to cut it down a little bit. And I know he would on his own, even if we give him 30 contracts to trade, he won't use it all unless he really feels confident. That's the thing that smart traders do. Mm-hmm. They will lighten up when they can, even if you can trade bigger. They lighten up during volatile environments, during drawdowns, when things just aren't working, and then they put the pedal down when it's working.
Yep.
Speaking of putting the pedal down, I want to talk about a trader, but it's putting the pedal down when it's not working. I want to pull up so Dakota, thank you for taking that payout. I'm really happy for you. Hopefully this is something for all of our viewers to work towards. Even if you don't become a large trader like Dakota, who's, making a lot of money in a short period of time, you have to be very comfortable and happy and content with, being a profitable trader on your own scale. You don't have to be the biggest fish in the ocean. So just be comfortable with where you're at. We talked about it with, Brian Pascal the other day, who's trying to chase Dakota. And I put warning out, don't do that. You're going to get hurt if you're doing that. Brian, I guess I mentioned earlier, he's up $3,700 today. So he's continued to grow his account over the 70,000. But let's get Prince's card up here. This is a shoulder tap. Been talking about shout outs for our traders, but this is a shoulder tap for Prince. Prince, one of our live traders. Today's day 17 in the live account, Andre. And unfortunately, after a bad day yesterday, he's got about $135 left in his live account, which is way off his account balance highs. And he really took it on the chin yesterday, carrying a 10 lot position into the manufacturing number.
Oh, no.
He exceeded. He got a lot of slippage. I mentioned it with Jack yesterday. I'd seen one of our live traders experience like 6,000 in slippage on their live account before. We saw him get slipped for $4,700 yesterday on a 10 lot during that release. So we lost $7,700.
Jesus. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Following a $3,200 losing day the day before. So, I mean, he lost like almost 100% of his remaining account balance in 2 days. 2 days. And like 77% was in a single day. And now he's got nothing left. I thought I was going to be coming in this morning, seeing that he lost that $135. I thought instead of this beautiful picture of Greenville, South Carolina, we were going to have a gravestone with the Grim Reaper there. But he hasn't traded today yet. And he's got no room to trade. and I don't think going to micros with, 135 bucks is the way to do it. I'd rather just pay him out this remaining balance, whether he's eligible or ineligible, because it's just going to go to the markets. The back is way too up against the wall for anything else to happen here. But I wanted to highlight this, talk about his card. The trading stats here there's not a huge story here, but I wanted to point out just how bad it is to take big positions into economic releases, and what can happen, and how
it was a rule. It used to be a rule. We dropped it. It was a rule. We dropped it. Now you're seeing why. Now you're seeing why it is not. So we don't suggest it. Everyone goes flat in the numbers. I guess if you have, you can put a trailing stop if the position is in the money, unrealized. But man, Mick, I mean, we see this time and time and time again.
Now, I've never had any success trading just ahead of economic releases. A lot of people will do that if they don't have a strategy, and it's like, I'll throw one on, see what happens, and flip a coin. Maybe I make some quick money or I lose some quick money. The only time that economic releases haven't burned me is when I've had a winning position that I've held for a long period of time that I'm in the money on, and it's like, oh, we've got a crude oil inventories, but I got $5 in the trade. I'm not going to cover just because we might, spike 100 cents or something like that, or $1.
Fine.
But you never slap shit on right before the release, especially with size. I mean, if you want to do that a little bit and you're trading well, do it small. But this is a good example of, hey, this guy had a $10,000 account 2 days ago, and in 2 days, he's got $135 left. I want it to be an example for everybody out there. So it's always good to learn from other people's mistakes and not learn firsthand for yourself. It doesn't work for some people. Sometimes you got to touch that hot stove and get burnt to realize, well, that was stupid. And now I know firsthand, but trading's a really good industry to learn from other people's mistakes and not, make your own. So something, I'm not even going to go through the stats here.
That's fine.
I want to go to kind of, areas for improvement or learning lessons to learn from. Always be on guard and always be aware of what releases are coming out. And if you're not big in the money on something, lighten up on your trade. If there's an economic release that's coming out that's going to, affect the product that you're involved in. If you got equities on and there's a crop report, who cares? But if you've got equities on and you got CPI, PPI, FOMC, I've shared on this segment so many times, big traders getting burned big on multiple occasions. So I'm going to keep trying to, ingrain that in everybody. And then take, risking, such a large percentage of your account. This is not what we're here to do. You need to live to trade another day. We used to have that in our old Topstep office before we moved into the board of trade, and we've downsized a little bit here because everybody's remote. Live to trade another day. Always live to trade another day. It was like 15 by 15 on the wall in the conference room, if you remember.
So it was.
It's got to be the motto. And it goes back to everybody's here to make money, but your number one goal is capital preservation. If you can't preserve your capital, you're certainly not making money, but you don't want to lose that. So Prince should come up with a personal loss limit. There were, of the trading days that they've had in here, there are way too many $3,000 daily loss limits. Come up with a personal loss limit. You don't need to go up against the 3,000 that we give you, or the 2,000 or the 1,000. And then, I already said it, but learn how to appropriately trade size.
100%.
Because you can't position yourself not to trade another day. All right.
I like what you say here. Be on guard, be aware. This is a defensive game. This whole game is about defense, more so than offense. Like Mick said, we live to trade another day. That's being on defense. The more defense you play, the profits will take care of themselves. So when he says be on guard, be aware, I think that's the highlight from that takeaway. Be on guard, be aware, be defensive, live to trade another day. All right, Mick, I really appreciate that. Let's go on to the next trading card if you'd like.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. We only got a little time, so we'll go through this one quickly, Andre. I want to pull up Kieran, please, if we could. Kieran is one of our traders we called up from XFA to Live just yesterday.
Wow.
31 days in the XFA. Really good stuff here. Average P&L 475. look at those average winning, the winning trading day percentages. 87% winning days, really, really good. Best day, right in line with the worst day. What I don't like here is the average winning day is only $920, and the average losing days $2,500. Granted, they've had far more winning days than losing days. We always say it's hard to maintain that high percentage of winning days, and even the winning trade percentage is really high. It's 79% winning trades, but I don't like the risk reward there. It's worse than 1-to-1. I didn't write it down, and okay, now the trade report loaded. So
it's a lot worse than 1-to-1.
Yeah, they're risking $490 to make 350. It's working out because they're right 79% of the time, 80% of the time, but that's got to change. And if you make small changes there, then we start looking at an average daily P&L that's, better than what we're seeing right now. But overall, for 31 days in an XFA, making almost $500 a day, they've been doing well. Consistent profitability, that's what we like the most when we call people up to live. There's room for improvement. Most of us have room for improvement, and we should always be looking for that. My advice to Kieran is, look, that average winning day is $920. That should be your personal loss limit. You have no business losing more than 900. And if they could, make a couple adjustments, and you just look back at your trade report and say, oh, if I only risk 900 on these days that I lost more than 900, I'd have X amount more in my account. That's how everybody should be reviewing their trade reports. You have to analyze your actions, your money management, to come up with kind of rules for yourself. People underestimate the amount of discipline you have to have in this business to be successful. And the trade reports we provide you with are a huge resource to get that information and pinpoint areas where you can make yourself better or make some changes. Look, something I love here, like Dakota, what he originally had planned with his payouts over $250,000, that account balance maintenance level, is Kieran's paying them. They're paying themselves every 2 weeks. A lot of payouts here, and they're not taking the most massive payouts. They're not taking 50% every single time. They're taking a smaller amount, which is good because you want to be able to weather some storms and keep a nice cushion in that account. So overall, this is really nice. Like I said, we called them up to live. They've taken 4 payouts in this XFA.
Beautiful.
4 payouts.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
and Kieran's going live, correct? We're taking XFA. We're going live, correct?
Going live. We like their trading. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, Mick. Well, coming up on time here, really quick. No Cap Markets says, really enjoyed this segment. I know people truly enjoy this segment. Mick, you will be missed, but you earned some time off. Enjoy your time in Europe. Send some pictures if you have a chance. If you're gonna be unplugged and off the grid, I also understand that. Mick, as always, it's been a pleasure. Enjoy your time over there. Safe travels, and we'll see you on the other side, Mick.
Thanks a lot. I'm going to miss everybody. We'll see you soon at the end of the month. All right?
You got it, man. Group coaching coming up next. We got the form pinned to the top of the chat. We got group coaching coming up. I believe it's JD and Robert. Yes, it is. JD and Robert coming up next. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Mick.